Hi and welcome to this channel. So if you are just joining us or you have been a part of this channel, I really want to appreciate you for taking your time to join me on this journey of learning to make an Android app from zero coding knowledge. So if you are someone where I've never coded, what is coding, what is all that, please relax. You're going to have every idea you need because Android is based mainly on logic, so you need logics together with the code to be able to achieve whatever you want. So we may have seen real life situation solving apps on Play Store, games on Play Store, and we'll be like, I don't have a laptop, I don't have this. Even though you have laptop, I want to create an app. Okay, so in this tutorial, in this course, I'll be taking notes for free on how we can be able to create our Android app with zero coding knowledge using Java. So Java and Kotlin are the official languages for creating app on Android. So it's a programming language officially recommended by Google themselves to create Android apps. So why I'm doing this for free, because I'm giving back to the community. Knowledge is not meant to be kept, but it's meant to be given back or shared. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open this app. This app, the link is available in the video description. So the link of the app is available in the video description. So the first thing you see is this. We click allow. So you can select any folder, but I already have a folder on this project, so I'm going to select my old folder. You don't need to worry, you can select any folder. We are starting from scratch. So for this tutorial sake, I'm going to disable this just for this tutorial sake. So I'm going to create my first app using Java. So I'm going to name it first app. So this is the package name. This is the name Play Store we use to generate app link for your app. So when people search, you click on the link, they find your app, or if you are installing your app. So this is what differentiates your app. Generally, this is what differentiates your app from other app, your package name. So it's like an app ID that differentiates your app from other apps. So two apps can have the same name, the same icon, and be installed on the same device. Why is that? Because they have different package name. So I'm going to name it anything I like. First app. So the language Java, minimum SDK, I will make mine 19 because I'm not using app compat. So if my project is app compat, I have to make it 21. But since it's just an empty project, I can use 19. So we click create. So it's creating the template. So while that is being done, there are some default files that are being created. There are some default empty files that are being created when we create an empty project. So now we may have seen apps like Play Store, we may see apps like Facebook, where the first thing you click is a blank screen with only the app icon and then the main page. So in Android it is called an activity. A website is called a web page, but since we're not going to website, so I'm just giving a scenario. So in Android, the first page you see and other pages you see is an activity. Multiple activities are what are included in an app before we can go down to fragments. So activity. So now with our default project created, what we do is we open this drawer, we click on this, open the drawer, we click on app, we click on src, we click on res. So by default what it creates in the Java file is main activity. So main activity is a class that extend. This extend means it inherits, just like now if your father is to pass his wealth, so all the properties of your father belongs to you. So now activity is the father of main activity. Main activity is just a class, it has no use until it becomes an activity by extending an activity. So that's what this extend entail. So now all the properties of main of activity, which is a class, So this is where the class is found. So this is the reference to the class. So that's why you import this reference. So all the properties of activity, main activity already has it now. So now it can behave like an activity. So before we go into this, there is a place we call Android manifest. There is a file. This is it. We click on it. So by default, when we create an empty project, what it does is it creates a main activity file, just as we have seen. But in some apps, we have splash screen. We have splash screen before the main screen. So how do we do that? We create an extra activity. So we are going to create an extra activity by right clicking on the last name of our package name, which is first app. Click on new. We click on Java class since it's a Java file. So I name it splash. So as I say, splash is not really necessary, but for beginners, let's take everything gradually so we can decide later whether we need it or we don't. So we click on create. Okay, let me name it splash activity. So in case I need to make a splash fragment, I can differentiate that. So splash activity now is an empty file. It has no use. It has no use yet. So we are now going to create. We have what we call res folder. It's a short form for resources. Okay, like I said, we have resource folder. So resource is where we keep all images, where we keep XMLs. So all images XML, then XML format, all the view. So as we see, all this is a view. All this white place is a view. So in a page, we have views. So all this search icon, all these are called views. So now there is a resource folder mainly for adding views. That folder is called layout folder. So activity underscore main.xml already exists. So the next thing we're going to do is since we are using a splash activity, we are then going to create a splash layout. A splash layout, new layout. I'm naming it splash. I'm naming it splash. So it has been created. So now splash is an empty screen. It's an empty screen. So next thing we're going to do is we are going to add an image, because as you can see, splash screens always become empty. Only the app icon, sometimes app icon and app name. So let's just add a linear layout, then layout, the height of the layout, the heights. So we want the height to full the screen, and if we want the width to full the screen, we use this property. So we are now going to do gravity. As we want anything added inside linear layout to be in the center, as you can see in Play Store. If we use Play Store, you can see the icon is in the center. So to make our image in the center, what we are going to do is we are going to do layout gravity, then we are going to do center horizontal, center vertical, center horizontal. So we are not going to close yet. We are now going to add a view called image view. Then the height of the image view, height, we can use wrap contents. That is, if we use the size of the image, we can use the weight to also wrap contents. So we use this to add the image itself. So we can store images in durable folder. We can store images here. So this can store a PNG, or we can store it in map. So by default, this app creates it in map folder. It doesn't store it in durable, so we can store the image. Look at the image. This is an image in a XML folder. So we can store any image, that is the PNG, the JPG, and the rest. We can store it in this folder. By importing the file, or we can store it in Drawable. So let's go back to the splash screen. So I'm going to use the default image that this app creates. I'm going to use, or for practical sake, let's import a random image by right clicking on Drawable, click on import, click on file. So I'm going to just use the random image. So this is a random image. So Android RC, we write adorable. So then we're going to write the image name. What is the image name? IC_launcher. So this is the IC_launcher. IC_launcher. That is the image name. So then we close this tag. In XML, we have the opening and the closing tag. So this closing tag has close image. So we use this closing tag, for when the view does not have inner view. So we can see this first linear layout has an inner linear layout. So that's why when we close it here, we do not add this slash. Rather, we close it here. So we have two closing tags in XML. So this one is to close only image view. Then we use this to close the linear layout. As you can see, we did not close it before. But now we have closed it. Now. So linear layout has been closed. So now the next thing we are going to do is we are going to go back to our Android manifest, because we need to declare our activity. By default, the activity name is main activity. We are going to change it to splash. After splash, the next thing we are going to still create our main activity. Just write activity name. The name of our activity is main activity. Then we close it using this tag. You can see this first tag, like I said, we have two types of closing tag. But as far as I know, we only have one opening tag. So this, why it uses this tag, is because it has an inner tag inside itself. So it has this intent filter tag, so it cannot close using this tag. So what it does is it closes uses this tag. So now we have defined our main activity and our splash activity. So but now splash activity is not yet an activity, it's just a class. How do we make it an activity? A faster way is to copy this. I'm going to copy this. Then we click paste. Then since the file name is splash activity, we are going to change this to splash activity. Then we change this to the name of our XML. I can remember, and the XML name is splash. So we are going to change it to splash. So we are going to change it to splash. So now any thing we add here will appear in the splash activity. If we add text, so we can also add text. Let's say we want to add text. Text is a class. Text view. Layout, height and width. You can use wrap content. Then the heights, we can also use wrap content. Then the text itself, that is the message we see, the users see. The text, my first app. So we can close text view using this. So text view has been closed. So as we go on, I will show us how we can create game, how we can use Kotlin language, how we can create advanced app, for instance machine learning. We can get text from images, we can get part of an ear in a face, the ear, the eyes, the nose and the rest. We can detect it in an app. We can detect if an image and we can detect if an image contains a human face. So we can do all this technology using our Android device. So all you just need to do is share this video, comment wherever you are lost. I will be there to answer you. In a case where it's a lengthy reply, I can join you to our Telegram channel. You connect with other developer, will help you to fix the errors. In case you encounter such again, you'll be able to fix it. So now we have added our text view and that, so we can check and we can run our app. So we use debug release for faster build. The release build APK is when we want to actually share it to more than one people. For testing sake, we can use the debug. So we can see, but now everything is scattered. How do we do that? We go back to our project, we go back to Splash, go to Splash, we set gravity, center horizontal, then we also set the orientation. We set the orientation to vertical. So we can see everything is in the center. In the next video, I'll show us how we can go from one page to another. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.